About the flares, the ATX Pro does not flare like your Russian lenses, but is still prone to flare. Aesthetically, it won't win any prize for it. Nevertheless, it makes the job at the department. Just keep in mind that the two first generation give you the choice in the amount of satisfaction you are looking for. If you want more flares, go with the first generation, the one of 1994. It has less coating compared to the Mark II sold in 1997. The counterpart is you will lose in optical quality. Either way, just keep in mind that the 28 focal length is the one to be used for the maximum of flares.
Warning! This episode contains upsetting content that may be difficult to take. To give you an idea, this is the video. And here, this might be you. And sometimes it will feel like this. Please watch with care.
Alright, let's start. Since 31 years, no one has been able to pinpoint with proof which part of the ATX Pro originated from the Angenieux. That led to one vacuum of speculation, misinformation, wishful thinking, and, let's say it, fantasy that the sellers and the rehousing workshop are benefiting from. In this video, I will give you some context and I will give you some information, and after that it's up to you to decide if this lens is close to the Angenieux or not. I'll leave it to you, okay? So first, let's start with some B-roll, 30 seconds only, something like this, and after we jump into the subject, and to finish the video, I will make one review. Okay? So let's roll. Now let's start with some context. 1990, the year Angenieux launched the expensive consumer zoom, the 28-70mm f2.8. There was already some confusion among the French photographers, mostly for two reasons. Number one reason was the label of origin of the lens. Angenieux used to engrave the made in France in all the lenses, except this zoom. You could find the label on the box on the paperwork, but nothing on the lens.
f8 shutter 50, 200 ISO, focusing to infinity on the 28 focal length, let's zoom in.
I will start by the conclusion. Listen, if I had paid $200, which is considered a bargain at this price, I will have insulted everyone on YouTube who hyped this zoom, considering that I have $50 vintage zoom that produce a better image. Of course, they don't have better usability, but that's besides the point. We are talking about the image. Simply put, optically, it's good. It's decent, but it does not shine. If there was only one thing to remember from the video, it would be this: the ATX Pro doesn't shine. I am not disappointed, but definitely not impressed. I just don't see anything inspiring about this lens. Maybe because I watched too many YouTube videos. Expectation is the mother of all disappointment, blah 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 blah. Anyway, my critiques of the lens are the quality that videographers love about it, the softness and the glow that supposedly give it a vintage look. But here's the thing, not all softnesses are created equal. It's all about the ratio of softness and sharpness and the fall-off to the edges of the frame. From 2.8 to 5.6, but particularly at f2.8, the image is soft. On the whole frame, without fall-off, it is mixed with what the photographers call the Tokina glow. The result of the mix is a mushy look. Add to that the colors that are not popping, some chromatic aberration, the vignetting, lack of micro detail, and then you are left with one flat mushy look and it looks cheap. To get rid of all that, you will have to start at f5.6. The sharpness is there, colors are starting looking good, less vignetting, and the best of the lens is at f8. f8, this is where the images for professional work start. Of course, this mushy look is still useful if you are in need of this type of concept. Under a heavy color grade, it might have a filmic vibe, but don't expect the film look out of the box. As I said, there are cheap vintage zoom that have better sharpness and better colors. The majority opinion was that Tokina was only in charge of the electronic for the autofocus, and Angenieux took care about everything else and assembled the lens in France. Angenieux never clarified the involvement of Tokina. Some people speculate the lens was mostly manufactured and assembled in Japan, and Angenieux just took care about the optical in France. What we are sure about is Angenieux used some lenses from Oya Corporation. This is one small detail that is very important, in fact, because in 1990, Oya Corporation acquired some share of Tokina that had at this time some financial difficulties. Just for you personal information. Guess we will never know. Second reason, connoisseurs of the Japanese market knew that prior to Angenieux, Tokina was already selling one zoom, 2870 constant f2.8, named the ATX 270, having the same optical formula. Also, Tokina was the first to come up with the specification of one autofocus zoom 2870 constant f2.8. So the question was, did Angenieux use the ATX 270 as starting block to speed up the research and development of the zoom? I'm not sure about you right now, bro. This one is a big stretch of imagination, considering that the two lenses don't perform the same, they don't have the same weight, they don't have the same size, they don't have the same usability. The 270 is rotating and extending, the Angenieux not, and also the optics don't have the same dimension. But anyway, for the sake of the argument, let's say Angenieux decided to choose Tokina to have it easy, did it by chance. Okay, let's try. Okay, it might be a bit far-fetched, but here's the thing. Between 2.6 and 2.8, there is only 10% difference of lighting. Barely noticeable. All this question led some people to nickname the Angenieux, the Tokina from Angenieux. Anyway, now let's move to Japan, 1999. A supposed Tokina manager anonymously wrote one post about the creation of the ATX Pro, which he was involved in. And for your information, this series of posts is long deleted, but internet does not forget. So let's read what he wrote. A 1993 Tokina 270 autofocus lacked aspherical lenses, started to lose its appeal, sales began to decline. We had to do something. We couldn't afford to lose here. In fact, this lens was OEM'd to Angenieux. Oh la 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 la. I repeat. Now the bokeh. I have little to say about the bokeh of this Tokina, because there is simply not much to discuss about the bokeh of the Tokina. It's too clean. And that's the issue, if we can even call it like this. It's basic, lacking personality. You get your round bubbles, and that's about it. Depending on the focal length, you might notice slight distortion, but I wouldn't call it character. At 28mm, There are some barrel distortion, a 70mm, a bit of pin cushion. Either you do it in post or better use it one cheap focal reducer or filter to have some character. In fact, this lens is talking about the 270, the first one, was made to Angenieux. His exterior featured a wide focus ring design. He's talking about Angenieux. Completely different from Tokina's usual design, and was considered quite innovative for its time. Around this period, questions about the focus ring on autofocus lenses started to arise within the company. Customers struggling to manually focus an autofocus telephoto. Precise focusing was still challenging. That's when it hit me. Why not make the focus ring wider? The focus ring width on the lens OEM made to Angenieux was perfect. The Angenieux got one thick focus ring, something quite like this one. At that time, our production technology department was experimenting with a prototype lens equipped with a focus clutch. The width, Angenieux. The clutch, prototype from Tokina. Focus. Contrary to what some people claim, the ATX Pro exhibits some focus briefing. But I must say, it has one of the best focus briefing that I have seen in one photography lens. The image appears slightly squeezed when you focus closely though. However, the briefing is subtle and pleasant, barely noticeable when rocking the focus slowly. It's definitely well suited for filming, but the lens lacks a macro mode. And the focus draw is disappointingly short, with only 50 degrees range. Anyway, the focus briefing is good. Listen, since the OEM deal with Angenieux had already ended, we thought let's adopt this design. No mention about licensing, no mention about asking for permission. They just took the drawing, they had it already. How could we improve performance without using aspherical lenses? And here the big difference with the Angenieux. In fact, the design spec for the Tokina 2870 f2.8 were strictly speaking f2.6, f2.8. By slightly stopping down from the wide open, we improved the performance at the wide end. Additionally, we succeeded in enhancing component precision and using assembly and adjustment standard as much as possible. Meaning that they just did not took the drawing of the Angenieux and call it a day. No, they really improved the design. Manufacturing became more challenging and we didn't want to rely on it too much. But it was possible to improve performance without changing the lens design. He is not talking about the Angenieux, he is talking about the optical formula of the 270, the original one. We also changing the coating from the amber to a more natural green tinted coating that improved color reduction. At the time, mass-producing coating often resulted in deviation from the target wavelength range. So we thought what not intentionally shifted from start. This worked perfectly. Yep. So let's summarize all that. According to my understanding of the translation of one deleted post of one anonymous Tokina manager, that's a lot. It's not really serious. Tokina did not try to have one Angenieux 2.0. They did not try to copy the image quality of the Angenieux. They used the blueprints of Angenieux to update the focus of the original ATX 270 to get the usability of the Angenieux. Build. Despite the weight, 720 grams, and its short focus throw, this photography lens is ideal for filming. It does not extend or rotate, which is a significant advantage as you will certainly use one VND filter to play with the f2.8. Its construction, mostly metal, is superb. Solid and rugged, it gives one impression of professional grade quality. However, some users have noted that it attracts dust. so better keep a filter on it when you are shooting outdoors. Beyond functionality, the body of the lens is a beauty to handle. Seriously, a beauty. The dimension, the proportion, the width of the rings, and their positioning are perfect for handheld work. The zoom is not as smooth as the focus, but that's okay. To sum up, the lens body offers exceptional usability, which make you overlook some shortcomings of its image when wide open. They did not try to copy the image quality of the Angenieux. Their priority was the focus and to stay into their budget constraint by limiting aspherical lenses, and also they redone the coating. But of course, they did not do the coating like Angenieux because it will be way expensive. It is well known that Angenieux used something like 40 layers of coating on each side of the optics, something like this. Legally speaking, problematic. Also, I just want to point out something. What we call Angenieux from Tokina, we are talking mostly about the ATX Pro 2. But if you compare the optical chart of the ATX Pro 2 to the Angenieux, they are quite different. They don't match. In fact, the ATX Pro 2 is far better than the Angenieux. We also learned that the ATX Pro has the focusing of the Angenieux, and the Angenieux has some part of the original ATX 270. And when you think about it, there is nothing surprising about it. All the manufacturers, they take the best, they improve. They take the best of someone else, they improve. It's like this. All right? Next. Zoom out. Parfocal. Like most zoom lenses of its time, the ATX Pro is not parfocal. However, in some cases, you can still achieve parfocal performance by simply focusing to infinity. It's not an inconvenience as infinity focus is right beyond 3 meters. Then you are good to go. You can zoom in or zoom out as much as you wish. You will notice that your focus peaking is still there. And of course, more aperture, the better.
Okay, live from the Typhoon. For the versatility, very good. Nothing beat one zoom with one focal reducer on one crop sensor. It's just like having one suitcase of prime. For the value, it all depends what you expect to do with this zoom. $200 maximum is the good price for this zoom. Above, excepted if you have one professional project that will pay for it, okay, otherwise it doesn't worth it. You are better off with the Tamron 2870 2.8 that has one better image. I paid this zoom $70, so it's okay for me. I will give one good, maximum. Yeah, one good. Yeah, good value for performance. Other than that, no. No. All right, so it's okay for me, I'm done. Bye.